Experience I had my first son was a whirlwind experience, to be honest with you. He was overdue quite a bit, and we went in for the induction, and we had his birth plan in place. I was really trying to be the coach, the linebacker, the protection for my wife going into the situation, and things didn't really go as planned. His heart rate dropped. We found out that the cord had wrapped around his neck twice, and he was rushed out of. They were both rushed out of the room straight into surgery, and I found myself sitting there for about 5 or 10 minutes, just powerless and helpless, and I just really didn't know what to do. And he spent the first 7 days in the NICU, and it was probably the hardest time of my life, and one of the hardest times for my marriage, from a standpoint of us just really being emotionally drained and not really knowing what else to do, and not really knowing anybody who had been through that. And I didn't have a dad to turn to and talk to about it and ask him, what do I do? What can I say to my wife? How can I be there? What do I need to do? I just kind of had to figure it out. And I just told myself, I was like, I just need to be there. I just need to be supportive, and I need to make sure that I know everything the nurses are saying. I was Googling everything, every tube, every syringe, anything they were saying. I was Googling to make sure I knew everything the next day going into it, to ask them questions and be as informed as I could be. But I mean, that experience, once I actually got a chance to get him out the NICU and hold him for the first time, I mean, it's really undescribable. I mean, it made everything that we had gone through, from being rushed into emergency C-section to the umbilical cord being wrapped around his neck, him spending days in NICU, watching my wife just emotionally and physically just drained. It made all of that just go away when I just held him and looked at him and just knew that at that point that my whole life was about protecting and providing and being there for him, regardless of any situation or circumstance or past issues. What I learned of myself as a stay-at-home dad was that I knew more about fatherhood than I realized. That my dad not being around prepared me to be a good dad, because I was so kind of caught up in trying to figure out what do I need to do. I realized his absence told me everything that I needed to do. I needed to not do what he did. I needed to be present. I needed to be loving, be caring. I needed to change diapers. I wanted to be everything to my son that my father wasn't for me. Kind of going into that journey, I started to realize that there were a lot of black men out there that had stories, and I wanted to find a way to kind of capture those stories and help other dads that didn't have dads to know that, okay, Ben might have a story for what it was like raising his younger children, but what about the dad that didn't have a dad growing up that now has teenagers? I didn't know any advice or anywhere to point, so I would look for other dads that maybe were at that stage in life and that grew into kind of my wife calls this a mini movement. My goal is to just curate content so other black dads know that we're out here, and really what I want to do is change society's view of black dads. There's this stigma that we don't parent. There's a stigma that we disappear, and it's not true. Every dad that I know that has kids is a very present father in their kids' lives, whether they co-parent or they're married, or whether it's just a baby mama situation. They're there. So I just want to make sure that I can show the world that we are parents and we're proud of it.